Hi, welcome back to Therapy Designs. My name is Kelly, and if you're new to this channel, this is the channel that's all about teaching you how to create print-on-demand designs using Canva. So if you're interested in t-shirt designing or anything else print-on-demand, be sure to hit like and subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any of the weekly videos. So in today's video, we're going to be going over how to make this design right here. Now it looks pretty simple, palm trees in front of a sunset. But I'm going to show you how you can use photo effects on sunsets to make them pretty much however you want. So this particular sunset actually started off as an entirely different color, so we went ahead and changed the colors. We gave it this rough kind of jagged edge. We put some grain gradient in here too. So there were several different effects that we used to create this particular sunset, and then we just went ahead and put the palm tree silhouettes in front of it. But if you want to learn how you can use some photo effects to create your own custom sunsets for your designs, be sure to stick around. So as always, I'm starting with my blank background. It is 4500 by 5400, and I am starting with black. I'm going to show you some cool sunset effects that you can do. So to do that, we're going to come up here to Elements, and I've already done a search for retro sunset and sorted by graphics. So you can do retro sunset, grunge sunset, vintage sunset, but Canva has some good pre-made sunsets for you to use. You can also, of course, make your own, but in the interest of time, I'm going to show you one that's already on here. So you can pick any of the sunsets that you like, and there's a good variety of different ones to choose from. They're all kind of cool. I'm going to go ahead and grab this one right here. Doesn't matter which one you choose. So for this, I'm going to show you some techniques that we can do. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is make it a little bit bigger, and then we are going to save this as an image. You'll find that we can do a lot more when we save things as images, because then we can use photo effects on them. So any graphic that you want to be able to edit that you're unable to edit because it's a graphic, all you have to do is go ahead and save it as a PNG with a transparent background and then upload it, and now you can use all the photo effects available on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and save this right here, and there it is. So I can get rid of this one. This one's a graphic, and as you see, if I come up to edit image, I can do some things with it. I can't do everything I want with it. Well, I'll show you later. I'm going to bring this way down. I'm going to keep this one right down here. So this is the graphic version, and I'm going to pull up the one that we just uploaded, oops, which is going to be the photo version here. Let me just upload this. Oops, this one. Perfect, okay. Okay, so here's the exact same design as here. This one, oops. Let me crop this up here. So this one here is saved as a graphic, and this one here is saved as a photo. So I'm going to show you some of the cool things we can do with this. Okay. So if we click on our image and we go up to Edit Image, and we come down all the way to the bottom where it says liquify. There's some cool liquify effects. And one that I like to do here for the sunsets is the one that says shake. So I can hit shake. And now we can see how we can distort this. So the thick distort is going to make it look really weird. It's no longer a circle. It's kind of a weird shape here. If I bring the thick distort down, I can keep it more circular. I can take the fine distort and bring that up, and what that's going to do is it's going to give me these kind of rough edges, which are really cool. So I kind of like that rough edge look. If you wanted to do something like roll speed, that is going to make it go up or down as though it's going up or down throughout your image. I'm going to keep it right where it's at, and I'm going to apply this. And so I'm just going to let this one save. And now for comparison's sake, I've got this one here that's a graphic. it is going to let me edit this image, so I think I can come down and do the same idea, do the shake, but there's going to be a big difference, and I'm going to show you. When I do the shake on the graphic and I go to do like the thick distort, it doesn't look the same as when I did it here. The reason is this graphic is bordered here, and it's bordered right next to it, so it can't go outside of this border. So no matter how much I want to distort it, I can't distort it outside the border of this original square. When I save it as an image, you'll see there's room around it that allows me to distort it more. So if you wanted to make a very, very distorted image, you would want to save it this way, so you've got space. If it doesn't matter, you can do this little fine one here. It's not going to give you as much control. I can up my fine distort, though I can still do that and apply. And so for this, it didn't make a big difference per se. You can see the difference between this one's a little bit more distorted at max. This one's a little bit less just because it's boxed in, so there wasn't quite as much room for it to navigate. I'm also going to show you how we can change the colors here. So I've got my sunset, and let's say I like these colors, but I want to kind of change the tone a little bit. There's a few different ways you can do this. You can go up to photogenic. And if we go to photogenic, you can see I can kind of change some of these, come down here to color pop, and I can get some big differences in color. So there's a lot that we can work with here. If I did the color pop, I can also come down here to color mix, and color mix will also allow me to change the colors. And the cool thing with color mix is if I go ahead and open it up, I can change up here where it says hue. I can change the hues throughout, so I can get a lot of different colors of sunsets that way. And again, I can change how saturated it is. Right now it's very saturated. I can make it a lot more dull. If I want it to be more dull, I can make it really, really bright if I want it to be really, really bright. So that's pretty good right there. And again, I can just sort of play with it. So let's say I want it to be more like that, and apply. I'm going to get rid of that one entirely. So you can see how we can sort of play with the sunset to make it however we want. Few notes here. If you do something like duotone, for example, duotone, you can also change the colors, but what it's going to do is it's going to change the color of the background as well. So if I was to hit duotone, you see now I've got this background that needs to be removed. Okay, so that's one of the disadvantages of doing that, is now you'll have to try to remove the background. With the techniques I've showed you so far, you don't have to remove the background. You can do some bad TV effects on your sunset too. So if you want it to be kind of like fuzzy, you can kind of give it a fuzzy look. And so what I can do is it's got some noisiness here, some fine distort, so I can kind of distort it that way. Whoops. Lost it. Edit image, fuzz. So my fine distort here, you can see I can distort it a lot more. So if I really want it to be distorted, I can do it that way. Thick distort, I can again do that here with the bad TV. I don't really want to distort that. Right now it's on the maximum amount of noisiness. I can bring, it doesn't like me. Lost it. Bad TV, bad. My fuzz, right? So my fuzz, this is the noisiness down here. And so I can bring the noisiness way down, or I can bring the noisiness way up. And so you can see that kind of grain that's on the top and the bottom, and how the top kind of gets whiter as I move the noisiness. So that's another cool one that you can kind of do with the sunsets that I like, that I think is kind of cool. So I can hit apply there. Give it a second. Okay. Back to my edit image. Other cool things that we can do with this. I showed you some of those. Trippy will kind of break up the initial colors. So for example, if I was to do split or radiate, you can see how it's kind of taking the colors, separating them. Now it looks like a beach ball. I don't necessarily want to do that, but those are options for you. Slice is another cool one. So slice, you can kind of, well, you can see how it go. You can chip off the edge, you can slice it, you can mince it, you can tear it. So now I can really, really offset it. I can bring the offset down, or I can bring the offset up. So these are different ways that you can get kind of cool effects with your sunsets here. And so you can play with some of these. And slices, I can make it a lot less in the way of slices or a lot more in the way of slices like that. So I can apply that as well. Give it a sec. Okay. Anything else worth playing with? Those are some of my favorite ones. If you do anything up here where you see flow, smudge, smear, all of these unfortunately are going to give you that background that you're going to have to remove. So anytime you see that sort of background, that means you're going to have to do a background removal, which is fine. You can totally do that if you like. That's an option, but sometimes it's hard to remove the background, especially when we've got these lines going through, as it won't quite remove the lines in between. I can try this melt feature. Whoa, that's weird. Maybe I don't want it to melt quite that much, but if I just kind of want to make those lines a little bit wavier, I can scale that down. Oh, okay. Lots of waves versus little bits of waves. Interesting. Oops, I didn't really want to do that. Let me go back. And what the heck, I'll go ahead and show you what it would look if we had to do a background removal. So I'm going to go ahead and use paint effects. So paint effects is another just really cool thing that we could do if we want to. So what one might look good for the paint effects for this? Might be something maybe a little grainier, grittier. Maybe something like this one might look cool. And again, I can play with it. Oh, that looks kind of cool. Okay, so this one almost gives it like lines, like almost like flame looking lines. That's kind of cool. And again, I can, woo. Okay, that's way dark. Don't really like that. That's really low. That gives it just a little bit of lines instead of solid. A little bit of lines. Okay. That's pretty cool. So let's say I wanted to go with this and I hit apply. Now we're gonna have to give it a minute. And you'll see for this one, we're gonna have to remove the background. So it's hard to see, but there is a dark background around the sunset now. So if I was to bring this down here, you can see that now there is a black background that needs to be removed. So we can try the background removal and see how it does. Sometimes it has difficulty getting in between the little lines on the sunset. And so that can be challenging if you want to cut those out. So let's just see how it does. Yeah, so as you can see, it didn't do a good job. So now if I wanted to erase the background and I wanted to use my eraser tool, I would have to go in and go all around all of these edges and in between each of these lines, and that would be very challenging to do, right? So this is one that you might not want to use if you had to go in and manually remove the background. It would just take you a very long time to do. And so you can see how that looks. So I'm going to undo this. We're just going to go back. There it is. Okay. Perfect. Make sure my background's removed. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Looks pretty cool on white too. I kind of like that. So now I've got a really cool sunset, lots of things I can do with it. Now if I wanted to make it sort of summery, I can put some palm trees in front of it, do the typical, you know, palm tree surfing kind of design. So let's just say I want palm trees. Palm trees, and I'll just go with graphics. Lots of fun silhouettes I can put in front of it. I think it would look best with silhouettes. And so you can see there's a lot of things that you have to work with. Here's one that they kind of pre-made for you with a sunset. Not a huge fan of that. I could take something like this here. Now, one thing you can do that's kind of cool is I can take the sunset and I can crop it because it is an image. I can just right up to the bottom of that if I want to. And so that's one thing I could do. Now, I don't really like this because to make the palm trees big enough, I've got to get this big bottom. So I don't like this one. I want something with a smaller bottom. So let's say I come back up here to one of these smaller ones, like this looks cool or this looks cool. Either of these, that one I kind of like. And so I'm gonna bring, oops, keep moving things, don't want to move things. I can always lock this down if I don't want to move it, but right now, ta-da. And so that looks pretty cool, I like that. If I did it on a black background, now these trees would blend in. That would be a problem. So if I was to print this on a black shirt, you can see I'd kind of lose that. I don't really want to lose it, so I can pick a different color for this. And again, I could pick something that would stand out, something bright, orange or yellow. Oops, there it is. So you can see how it would look if I did different colors like that. Greens, dark blue might work really well if you had it like almost black, but just blue enough so that you would see it against a black background. So something like that might be cool. And so you can see how I can do it. If I wanted it to have like a pop around it, what I could just do is Control D and I can duplicate the palm trees. And then all I have to do is take the palm trees, make one of them white. And then what I can do is send to back, and then I can have sort of a, oops, not send to back, let's send backwards. Send backwards, because I still want it there. And now I can have a little pop that you can see behind the palm tree. So that's one thing that you can do. And of course I can adjust it however I want. Right now I don't like that the white is on the bottom here. I'd rather it be on the top, so I can pull that down there. Cool, and then I can take this and pull it down a little bit. Whoop. There it is. And so that's just a really cool palm tree sunset design that you can make pretty easily using Canva. You can incorporate it into other designs or leave it as is, but that's some of the fun photo effects that you can use on sunsets. So again, there's websites such as All Sunsets that will make pre-made graphics like this for you, but again, you can always make your own, customize your own, and this is one cool way that you would do it. And so this right here would look really good on all sorts of different color t-shirts, from black to white to anything bright. So this would be a fun one that you could use, something for like spring break or summer vacation, trip to Hawaii, however you wanted to do it. So I hope you found this video useful, and I hope to see you again. That's it for today's video. If you found this useful, be sure to hit like and subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any of the weekly videos. As always, keep growing and stay creative, and we'll see you next time.